There are a lot of articles on the internet about procrastination, how to overcome laziness. I feel that foundation of all these problems, you're not feeling motivated, you don't have time, there are several other things going on. The foundation of all this is self-doubt. You doubt yourself, so you are fearful of putting yourself out. I have had my share in life where there were so many things I could have done but I could not do. Today we would be discussing that in detail. Understand what are the reasons. The first reason is that there was some kind of trauma. Whenever we speak of trauma, the only thing that comes to our mind is some kind of very extreme accident, like physical accident or rape or any kind of thing that is, we have assumed that it is very high in intensity. But one thing to note is that trauma everyone goes through and you cannot measure it. You can't say that this was more, this was less. You cannot measure it. What is more for somebody may be less for somebody else. When you don't trust yourself, your ability to trust others also goes down. I had a friend who I'm not in touch with right now, but there was one thing, whenever we used to go out, hang out or anything, she used to always tell me to lock the car. Locking the car is essential, but she used to keep repeating it 4 to 5 times, and to the point that it really got on my nerves and it started irritating me. So not being able to trust whatever situation. When she was at home also, she used to close all the doors and windows and sit, even though there were grills and everything. The sense of security is there here. Whatever outside, you may have 10 bodyguards around you, but if the sense of security is not here, then obviously you won't be able to trust outside world. So any kind of trauma that shatters your self-belief, that makes you question your own worth. And these also include people who gaslight you. Somebody says something and goes, but what we do is we internalize it. And this is often something that later becomes a part of our identity. You have certain core beliefs and you might have got them from your parents, from your previous generations, or from different people who are there in your house and they are running the show. If there is a child and if a parent leaves suddenly without any notice or anything, whether death or any kind of leaving, then the child comes to believe that whoever loves them leaves them. So this is a belief. So whenever there is any kind of relationship or anything, there will be always trust issues. There will be stuff that you may not be able to understand will happen to you. Even in my circle, there was somebody who I used to admire, but that person always used to say that whoever I like leaves me. This is a core belief that is there, that was there in his mind, and in future also the person will make sure that he will attract the same people unless this is changed. Okay, because your core belief is the same. Any event that happens which triggers it will shatter you. If you find that people are very critical to you, if you find that your family is very critical to you, pinpoints things that you don't want to get hurt, you don't want people to hurt you, there are heavy chances that you are critical of yourself, okay, and this reflects in the exterior. Now you may think, what is the connection? If others are speaking things to me, what is the connection between me and myself? Your entire focus is on others criticizing you. That can only happen if you are critical of yourself, because you are already there in that territory. You already are aware of how it feels when you criticize yourself and you attract the same. But you are not aware of the positive feelings. You are not able to receive compliments. There was a time in my life, whenever anyone used to compliment me, I used to just brush it off. My attention used to not even go there. We don't even know how to take compliments. If you are giving that message to others that you are not able to take compliments, how on earth will somebody have the guts to give you a compliment? Your primary caregiver or your parent, mostly it is a parent or your guardian, were not able to give you stability and were not able to give you security. As a parent, it's always their responsibility to validate whatever opinions you have, okay, whether they are right or wrong. To correct is a second thing, but to validate whatever you are feeling and to offer you stability and security. In our country, most of the kids grow in these kinds of homes where either the parent is unwell or they are financially not sound, so their whole attention is on providing something for their family, and in all of this the emotions get compromised. If you have ever got problem in getting attachment from your family, you will always have problems in giving attachment. This is till you start working on yourself. Once you have healed your relationship with yourself, obviously it will be very good and it will be very smooth. If as a child you were left to take care of yourself alone, then you have learned subconsciously that there is no one for you, you have to take care of yourself. You all were siblings, and if there was some kind of problem with one sibling, then the entire attention of parents is on that, and the other siblings usually get ignored, and this leads to a lot of anger issues, self-doubt, self-esteem, everything. In psychology, there is something called as attachment theory, okay? Whether it is anxious attachment, secure attachment, and disorganized, and avoidant, of course. So whenever you find yourself trying to avoid situations, it was your conditioning earlier that you were made to feel insecure, okay? All these problems stem from insecurity. When you are a child, you don't know how to cope with these things. You tend to find alternatives to avoid these kinds of unpleasant situations. So these were some of the things that are subconsciously, okay, running the show, and they are responsible for all these feelings of low self-esteem, low confidence, low issues, giving others priority in a negative manner to the point that you neglect yourself because you are so busy pleasing others that you are afraid that you will disappoint them. Now, dealing with these kinds of feelings, start with working at core level. Whatever issues were there repressed in your childhood, whatever feelings you have, if you have never been validated, then somebody has to validate these feelings. This can happen in therapy. It's a very good option. One thing you can do is to meditate and get yourself to that level where you can communicate with others freely. You need not be in a position where you have to avoid others. If you have never thought about all these things, then I suggest you take a break and go for a vacation or any or even Vipassana 10-day course to see where you are exactly with respect to these kinds of emotions, okay? Because you need peace to think. One thing to realize is that at that point of time, you did the best you could do. You need to validate your own struggle. Just because somebody has not understood you does not mean your struggles are invalid. That's all I would like to suggest. If you have anything else to share, let me know in the comments. Till then,